Hey guys, what's up, how's it going? My name is Rob and welcome back to the channel for another video. And in today's video, in this series, what we've been doing is we've been building a dividend investing case study completely from scratch, predominantly from Canadian stocks and US stocks, and I've basically been giving you these updates on a weekly basis for the channel. So that's basically the way this channel works. Is I like to build a dividend investing portfolio, and I'm kind of showing you guys the steps along the way, what stocks I'm buying, you know, how the dividend income has grown, and kind of my goals for the portfolio. So before we go in the video and I show you guys what stocks I'm going to be kind of taking a peek at for this week, I just want to talk about something because I've been seeing a lot, and I know a lot of you guys are aware of this too, but I see a lot on YouTube of people kind of pumping a bunch of stocks, and there's not a lot of accountability for people who like do the videos and whatnot. And we see a lot of people, like I actually watched a video the other day of a guy, it was on a dividend based channel, and he was pumping some crazy high yield dividend fund of some type. And you know, if you watch the video, you would think that this fund is good, and you don't know at the end of the day if this guy's actually investing in this fund. But I looked at the comments, and all the comments were so many people like saying that this stock is horrible and saying that they lost so much money in the fund because the fund basically ended up collapsing because it couldn't sustain itself. And I think this is something that a lot of people don't realize. So if you're watching a YouTube video and you see a stock, always do your own research, always kind of second guess things and try to just kind of see if the stock actually has performed well. And that's why on this channel I've always focused on good quality stocks, because number one, I want to make sure I make money at the end of the day. And since I'm doing these videos to kind of help beginner investors, such as probably yourself who's watching this video, I want to make sure you guys make money too. So that's why we kind of take a more conservative approach to investing on this channel. But anyways, that's it for my little rant for today's video. And one other thing I want to mention really quickly is I probably will be doing these updates once a week, and I'm going to be looking at maybe changing some of the content to be a little bit more educational on the channel. So once again, I'm going to be doing the weekly updates like usual, but it might change to do a little bit more educational content on the channel in the future. And if you guys do like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and there will be referral links and affiliate links to Wealth Simple Trade in the description of this video if you guys want to use them. Alright guys, what's up? How's it going? Here's the Wealth Simple Trade desktop here. So we'll do a quick little update on the portfolio in terms of the balances and our growth over the past week like usual, and then I'll go inside the holdings, give you guys a quick little snapshot of what we're doing for our personal account, and then I'll show you guys what stocks I'm kind of taking a peek at for today and for this week. So our portfolio total at the start is $35,000, $554, as you guys can see, and this consists of our two portfolios that we have here, which is our personal account and our TFSA. Our TFSA obviously is our bigger account at $31,000, and our personal account has $4,500, which has slowly been building up over the past 3 months or so. So we'll talk about the TFSA first, and I'll go over the returns of that, since that is our bigger account, and then I'll go over inside the personal account and I'll show you guys how that one's doing as well. So over the past day, the TFSA is up about 0%, which is about 60, I guess it's like 0.1 or something like that. $71 up since this morning, which isn't a big deal, nobody really cares. Over the past week, it's up 1%, which is $175. So we've seen a nice little increase in some of our Canadian stocks, and it's been a lot of, like the ones I've seen have been like Algonquin Utilities, CNR, some of those ones that took a bit of a dip over the past couple months seem to be kind of recovering a little bit, which has really helped the portfolio out. Over the past month or so, we're up $963, just under $1,000, and over the past 3 months, we're up 7%, which is $2,000. So once again, just slow, consistent growth inside the portfolio. That's our goal. And over the past 1 year, once again hitting an all-time high, we're up 18%, which is $4,700. And like I mentioned before, the portfolio just keeps growing on a regular basis. And you guys can see the growth here basically coming towards the end of last year and towards the beginning of this year. And we're seeing a little bit of growth in the past month here. We can see like that little bit of a rise there. So that's pretty cool. That's showing us on Wealth Simple Trade here how much our portfolio has grown. And I'll take a quick little snapshot of the personal account here so you guys can see the growth as well. So if you go all time for the personal account, we're already up 3% over the past month, but keep in mind this account is going to be more subject to ups and downs because we just started investing. It doesn't have as much growth as the other account, but nonetheless it is doing quite well because we are investing right now as the stock market, predominantly Canadian stocks, are starting to really go up quite a bit. And I'll give you guys a quick little update on some of the holdings here before we go any further. The first holding we have is Algonquin Power and Utilities. Once again, this was a big stock for me just because it got hit really hard, and it's just a really good growth-based utility company. They have lots of renewable energy, and they're just a really good company overall, and they look like they're going to have a really bright future. And with the stock price taking a big hit over the past couple months, it just looked like such an attractive buy. And we've seen a little bit of recovery inside this portfolio. This stock is sitting up 3% inside the portfolio right now. Next up we have is Alimentation Couche-Tard. This is the stock I've been buying quite aggressively, I'd say, over the past couple months since I've kind of found out about it. It's a very good growth-based stock. They've had really good earnings. They're constantly growing, and they have a very, very, very conservative dividend. So we should see nice dividend growth, and that's kind of the main reason why I'm buying the stock, is for the stock growth in terms of stock appreciation, but also for their super aggressive dividend. Next up we have is Manulife. Now Manulife has taken a bit of a hit recently. They had a really good start to 2020 and 2021 here, but if we go over the past year here, we can see we have a big, huge increase for 2021, and then a little bit of a decrease. So maybe we're just kind of, that increase is kind of balancing out a little bit there, but nonetheless, I still think it's a good stock long term, and it's in the negative right now in this portfolio for the short term, but we should see it rise over time. Next stocks that are doing pretty good for us are TELUS. TELUS is just a good, consistently growing company, really good telecom company. And I do like the fact that TELUS they're not doing a bunch of different things like some of the other companies are. They're just kind of doing the same thing. They're kind of locked on telecommunications and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I really like TELUS. And we've just seen that consistent growth over the last little while. And TD Bank is my favorite bank stock, so that's why I hold inside the portfolio. And then we have some 2 ETFs here at the bottom. So the main focus, like I mentioned last video, is I want to get more ETFs, specifically some US stocks, because I am kind of lacking that inside this portfolio. You guys can see here I have $552 of VFV, which is my US based S&P 500 index here on Wealthsimple Trade, and it is trading in Canadian dollars to avoid conversion fees, and that's why I picked it for the most part. It's currently up 2.42%, but I do want to add a few shares as time goes on here. And if we take a peek of it inside my TFSA, I actually have a bunch of my TFSA, and it's up 7% of my TFSA. So I still think this is a good fund to buy. So I'm probably going to buy, I would say, 1 share a VFV today, which is going to be most of the money in my account. I don't even know if I have enough money for any other stocks, but I'm just going to talk about some stocks that I think are good buys nonetheless at the end of the day, because I do think there's some good stocks to definitely take a peek at right now. So we have $18 left over, which is just under enough shares to buy a share of Algonquin Power and Utilities. So I won't be buying any Canadian stocks today specifically, but I'm going to be showing you guys which ones I would be buying and which ones are always good buys. And I'll just do a quick little recap here. So any stocks that I have inside my portfolio, I always think are good stocks to buy. And that's why when I do my investing, I always try to focus on if I have a stock inside my portfolio, I'm going to be buying it for the long term. And this really simplifies things in the sense where I don't have to really worry about what to buy on a regular basis, because I know these stocks are all good stocks. So you could buy Algonquin Power and Utilities. This is a really good company to look at right now, because over the past year or so, we've seen they've had, like, we go over the past 5 years, the stock has had tremendous growth, tremendous dividend increases, and it does have a good dividend yield right now. I think it's sitting at about 4%. I don't know where it is on here, but I think it's like a 3 or 4% dividend yield. And we've seen tremendous growth over the past 5 years, good pandemic recovery as well. But we've seen a little bit of a dip recently, and I think a lot of people are like talking about this stock. A lot of other good YouTube channels are talking about this stock because it really is a good price right now. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I wouldn't go super crazy with it, but if you're looking at a nice little cheap stock to buy that's about $18, you can buy Algonquin Power and Utilities. And I've actually been buying it quite a bit on a regular basis. If you watch my videos, pretty much every single week I've been buying the stock, and I would have bought it this week as well if I would have had more money. But unfortunately, as an investor, that's something we just struggle with. You know, we always want more money, but sometimes we don't have it. Any other good stocks here we have is Alimentation Couche-Tard. That's a good one for growth. I've been buying that. Manulife would also be a good one to look at with, like I mentioned before, the nice little decrease that they've had recently. Like, it'd be a good time to pick up this good finance-based stock. They had a really good year of 2020 and a good beginning of 2021 with lots of earnings, lots of growth, even throughout the pandemic. So this is a company that is constantly growing internationally, and they are diversifying, and they're adjusting to different things that are happening. So I do think Manulife is a good stock to buy as well. And of course, TELUS and TD I think are good picks as well. TD is always growing. In fact, TD I want to talk about really quickly because TD is kind of different from the other ones I mentioned. It's actually a stock that's not on a dip. So if you look at TD over the past 5 years, we can see here that since 2020, it kind of been growing consistently, but when the pandemic happened, it took a big drop, and then it's been consistently growing, and it's actually even at high levels higher since the pandemic. A lot of people might look at this and think that it's overpriced, but I honestly think that this stock is just one of those stocks that's going to keep growing on a regular basis. So when it comes to good stocks like TD, I think you can buy them at any point in time, even if they're trading high, because they're just going to grow long term. And once again, that's the long-term growth strategy of this portfolio. So TD is definitely a stock that I would buy at any day of the week, and I think it's good. It's a good stock to buy right now. Before we end the video, just because this portfolio is based around dividend investing and growing that dividend passive income on a monthly basis to hopefully one day live off the money, I wanted to give you guys a quick little update on the dividends we've been earning so you guys can see how this money compounds and grows. So just a couple days ago, we got a dividend from Spheria Corp. H&R REIT, we got a dividend for $7. VDY paid us a dividend of $30 this month. That was absolutely crazy. Actually, if we include both accounts, it was $30 from the TFSA and then $5 from the personal account. So you guys can see, if you guys have been following my channel since the beginning, those payments in the beginning were just like $5 here, a couple bucks here, and now it's starting to really grow on a regular basis. RioCan gave us a dividend of $9.52. We have Enbridge here for $2 and Fortis and whatnot, and that's pretty much the dividends for the month of June. And if you guys want a little bit more of a better example of how the dividend income has grown since we first started investing, you guys can see here that we have a little chart here that I've been basically tracking the dividends on a regular basis. You guys can see that it's been consistently growing on a regular basis since we've been investing inside the portfolio. The stocks just consistently, and I've been aggressively investing as much as I possibly can. And of course, we're taking all this dividend income and we're reinvesting inside the portfolio. So as time goes on, maybe when I want to spend more of my money on other things in life, the dividend income can just keep growing and kind of basically do the investing by itself at this point, since we're regularly putting, $50, $100 back inside the portfolio from what's growing. And our total dividends we've earned so far is $632. And I'll go over here to my cool little graph here that I have that will show the growth from a visual perspective. And you guys can see here that, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see on my webcam, but you guys can see that like it first started with just a couple bucks here, and it's been consistently growing on a regular basis with some ups and some downs, but on a regular basis, just consistently going up, and it's been super, super cool. So I hope that really helps you guys get an idea of how dividend growth-based investing works and how in the long term it really does start to really compound and make a big difference inside your portfolio. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for joining me here today. I really appreciate it, and I do enjoy it very much. And if you guys did like the video and you guys want to follow alongside with me, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Take care, and I'll see you guys later.